Hey everyone, it's Rob Balasabas here. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to say thank you to our sponsor, ConvertKit. ConvertKit is so awesome. We're going to be talking all about the State of the Creator Economy report, which they published just a little while ago, actually, and it's just been so good. There's so much information and insight here that's so useful to all content creators. And so I'm going to leave a link to that report. We're going to talk about a little bit of that report today about something that's actually really close to my heart here. And I want to make sure that you guys go check it out. There's so much information there. So make sure you do that. I'll leave a link in the description and in the show notes to the report. Now, let's get started with today's episode. This report is so packed with so much information. It goes through all of the stats on how creators are making money in 2024, demographics between different generations of creators, different ways that creators are making money, how much they're making, all sorts of stuff here. But one of the things that I wanted to actually just focus on in today's episode that really jumped out at me is that there's a section at the near the end of the report. If you're kind of going through the report really quick, you might even miss it. But there's a section here. Actually, let's see how many pages here. One, two. There's actually two pages. There's two pages, and you're gonna miss it if you're scrolling through the report. Go check it out. There's a link in the description. But page 44 and page 45, it goes and kind of dives just like kind of like goes deep really quick, but really short. But hopefully it gets you thinking. But the headline is Burnout Increased Over the Last Year. And so it says here that creators who experience burnout, it increased from, they surveyed over 1,000 creators for this report. And in 2021, 61% of the people burnt out. In 2022, there was about 45%. So there's a decrease. That was good. It went down 16%. But from 2022 and 2023, there was an increase. It went up again, 8%. And most interestingly, actually, a couple of really interesting points here. The first one is that the amount of money people make, doesn't actually change the burnout rate too much. It says here that creators that are earning $10,000 or less per year, which is not much, it's less than $1,000 a month. Of them, 59% of those creators experience burnout. So if from the people that they surveyed, the creators that they surveyed that made $10,000 or less, 59% of them burnt out. But the creators that made over $100,000 a year, they made 10 times more the money, maybe more. This is just $100,000 or more. It could be half a million. It could be the burnout only decreased by 9%. So let's just say it's 10,000 and $100,000 difference. So 1,000% increase in terms of how much money you make. So that's a lot of work. That's a lot of additional work. You're probably hiring somebody, maybe. You're probably working a little bit more hours, maybe. Who knows? Maybe you're outsourcing, which is probably good. Maybe that's why you're not burning out as much, because if you're making more money, maybe you're outsourcing more work. But even so, you're still burning out. There's still half of them are still burning out. 50% of those creators are still burning out. And so the gap isn't really that wide. And so sometimes you kind of think like, man, is it worth it to be making more money? And of course, yes, it is. There's definitely economic reasons to do that. There's financial reasons. It makes sense. That's what you want. That's why you start a business, is to initially, hopefully, is to make money, right? But it's really interesting that if you're making, with the creators that they surveyed, $10,000 or less in revenue, 59% of them burnt out. The ones that are making over $100,000 a year, the burnout has decreased but not by much. It has gone down from 59% to 50%, 50. And so again, just something to think about. It's really interesting that is the case. And so, I don't think I it really made me think, and I hope it makes you think as well as you're reading through this section in the report. Like, have you burnt out, right? Like, have you thought that through? Are you kind of just like working on empty? Are you just like, that's your normal? I think it's really important to be aware of that. There's actually even a section here which I really like in page 45 that tells, and this is a state of the creator economy report. So you're probably expecting a lot of financial data, numbers, trends, that sort of thing. But I really love that there is a section on burning out. There's even a section here with my good friend Jay Klaus, who we work with here at Uscreen as well. There's a section here where he talks about a great way to beat burnout is to get off the content creation hamster wheel by using email automations and evergreen content, which makes a lot of sense. So as your business develops, hopefully you are creating automations, you're creating systems, and evergreen content, meaning content that lasts for a while. You don't have to keep creating new content all the time. And there's a really cool, sort of share here of Jay sharing his exact flywheel on how he does that with his content. So really quickly, because it's going to be in the report, but I want to share it here, is that here's some ways that you can protect yourself from burning out as a content creator. So one, connect with fellow creators. This really gives you a sense of community, and make sure that you reach out for help if you need it. So not just help for your business, but just help just to, maybe talk. Maybe there's things that you want to share. Maybe there's always going to be good days and bad days, but make sure that you surround yourself with other content creators. That's really helpful. I'm been blessed to be able to have content creators in my circle and different things in different groups. I have some WhatsApp groups and different chat groups, and and we're able to connect. I also see them in different conferences and things like that, and regularly talk to them on video calls, on Zoom calls, and that sort of thing. Should do the same. Really helpful. Having a community around you is really helpful. You want to focus on your top performing channels and income streams to keep from spreading yourself too thin. Really good. There's so many opportunities as content creators. There's so many shiny objects. And so make sure that you're not spreading yourself too thin. You hear somebody on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or a conference or a podcast, and they tell you, hey, you should start this thing. You should explore this new revenue stream, or you should build on this particular platform. And, make sure that you pause first and you look at the data. You look at your business overall. You look at your bandwidth and your capacity. Does it make sense to do that? Does it make sense to add those new channels, or should you, which is probably the better way to go, is to focus on your top performing channels and your top performing income streams, maybe even letting go some of those content channels and stopping them altogether so that you have more time for the things that do work and for the revenue streams that do bring in revenue. Okay. You want to grow an email list. This helps you connect with your audience without constantly playing the algorithms. Okay, the algorithm game. You want to set clear boundaries in your business, and you want to take breaks to rest and restore, right? Hopefully you're able to even take, make sure that you're taking your weekends, make sure you're having some rest days, right? That's really important. Make sure you check out at a reasonable day, time in the day, so you're not working all day and all night. So those are some just, some really key things. I love that there's so much trend data, all that stuff, all the graphs. If you're a visual person, you love graphs, you love seeing that kind of data in that format. This is such a great report. So make sure you go check it out. It's free. There's a link in the show notes and in the description. So big thanks to ConvertKit for hooking us up with this report and putting all the work to really put all this information together. So I'll link to this in the show notes and in the descriptions. And hopefully you're having an awesome day. Hopefully you take this to heart and this speaks to you as well around burnout and you protect yourself from that. All right. So thanks for listening. I'll see you guys and talk to you guys in the next episode. Till then, God bless you guys and take care.